Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance. This is Syrtis, and we got the two best players, at least today, in this game. We got Lucian playing a cybran, starting first land, the two-time Supcom champion. Extremely good. Is one of those players where you face him and you know you're gonna lose. And of course Voodoo, same thing for me. If I face him, I know I'm gonna lose. He's the #1 ranked player currently. I think globally he's not, but that's not as precise. Voodoo playing UEF, also going first line. You can see he's going first 3 PGens. So the difference here is the PGen number. Also first 2 engineers from Lucian. One of the engineers going to the Hydra. Looks like the AC is going to pick up the Hydra after first 2 PGens. And the ACU for Voodoo is not going to pick up the Hydra. It's just going to be a single engineer. Very big power spam. The Voodoo's ACU is going to go for a second factory that's going to be a little more advanced. So slightly different builds, but you can see what Voodoo's seeing here. Pretty big mass excess, you could say, for this stage. You could use a little more. For that price, you can get another factory. Put 240 mass. Looking at Lucian, getting that air factor very quick, so a lot more power for Lucian because he used the ACU to get the Hydra. Looks like he's going to build a factory here. This is the way to get these factories started. You got to give a move order and then the build order. And looks like the ACU is also going to go to the middle. We also have a group of hunters together with a scout moving out through the top choke point. They're going to find nothing. There's an engineer, actually some tanks moving in that direction from Voodoo. Nothing happened on the bottom here from a second area. We got a bomber from Lucian. Lucian had to pick one player who's the best with the bombers. It would have to be Lucian, just remembering some of the things he done to people like Freshy in the first Timber Cup with the Seraphim bomber, where first 5 bombs were hits. It basically wins the game with the first bomber in the game. It's and actually against Voodoo when they were playing in the final on this map, he did some crazy bombings as well. But Voodoo won that one actually with a whole bunch of bombers, and here comes first kill, double bomb. Oh, that's brutal. 3 kills, 2 bombs. Yeah, Lucian by far the best bomber in this game. His hunters also, this is really nice, first land, second air combination from Lucian, both air and land attack. He's also got interceptors on either side. He's got total air control. 4 kills total. So quite devastating from Lucian. One thing about Lucian though that he sacrificed, he is not nearly as fast to the middle on this map. Whole bunch of mass in the middle, you want to get there first. So early raiding versus rushing the middle, this is what we're seeing in this game. And this bomber is still alive, amazingly, still 4 kills, although there are interceptors for Voodoo not doing their job, and that's going to really cost. Absolutely brutal. 6 kills, cybran bomber. Second best bomber after the Seraphim, but also extremely good. And of course there's also gestures perhaps, and it looks like a transport now from Lucian. 3 engineers on the power spam. That's a very big power spam. 4 line factories so far, and the ACU actually getting to the 5th line factory. Meanwhile, we're seeing in the middle the point defenses are going down. Voodoo ready to come in and get this mass. In terms of power spam though, way less power than Lucian. He's just got a single engineer. His air factory is paused. I can look at Voodoo's eco. He's got big mass problems, it seems. He's only 240 power plus 27 versus Lucian. He's got power problems, but he's got plus 400 power. He's got plenty of mass, so kind of a reverse. And in terms of rating now, we're seeing Voodoo. Some nice strikers. They got in behind. We do see some Manti going to try to take care of this problem, but Manti versus strikers 2v2. The strikers should win, especially with these with the scout. The scout is going to die. Although focusing fire here, and oh yeah, this is very big luck there for. I'm actually going to slow this down. It's too much good stuff going. We just saw how the Manti beat the striker because the striker kept hitting this mask extractor. So hiding behind the mask extractor. Now Voodoo is going to get himself a whole bunch of mass. You can look at his eco. This is happiness right here. This is just all this mass for free. and he's got plus 320 power, so won't be able to use it quite as well as you might like. He's got 9, he's got a single tech 2. But looking at this game, we're seeing the map basically along this diagonal divided, and the middle was taken by Voodoo. He's got a lot more mass. Here comes a drop from Lushan here at the back door, and also units just rushing through. Meanwhile, in the middle, Lushan could be in a bit of trouble here. Voodoo moving out with his ACU plus a whole bunch of tanks. There is some support here for Lushan. Meanwhile, Lushan, successful drop. 5 Manti plus 1 Artie taking care of a mask extractor. This is going to be trouble for Voodoo. Meanwhile, on the other side, looks like Lushan beginning to take a slight map control lead here. Problems here, major problems for Lushan with this drop plus this land. You see a lot more land factories though for Voodoo than for Lushan. He might have the advantage in terms of tanks very soon. Meanwhile, his power production is getting attacked, and this could be very big problems. This could be huge problems for Voodoo. That's all of his power right there. His Voodoo is moving out of the middle. He's going to try to push on the bottom here, but here this is the power of Voodoo, and Voodoo is already in a huge hole in terms of power. This is the worst thing for him to have to be attacked. He's only making half of what he needs. He's already got his air paused, so it's a very big problem. Which means also when you don't have power like that, you don't have radar. Meanwhile on the top side, an opportunity for Voodoo to kill a couple undefended mask extractors. It looks like, yeah, finally these Manta are going to be killed. It took a long time and big losses. Lushan getting a little more power. Don't really see any Tech 2 yet, but so much power. Looking at Lushan, actually Lushan also, but he's got plus 790, where Voodoo only has about plus 400. Too much mass, not enough power for both players. And Voodoo having success up on top. On the bottom, looks like Voodoo was able to recover. Just needs some engineers to grab the mask extractors back. But a very significant Mantis force. This is somewhere about 20 units moving here on the bottom, and this transport's ready to go. Might see another drop. Strikers rolling through. Point defense unsuccessful for Lushan. He's going to try to get another one. This is going to be a very important point defense for him. But very surprising, Voodoo didn't send a single tank up top. Free killed 2 mask extractors and an engineer. And multiple drops planned here for Lushan. Voodoo pushing up with his force, very even numbers, and more land factories for Voodoo here at minute 10. Voodoo's got a total of 16 Tech 1 land factories. Lushan's got Tech 2 and he's making Tech 2 flak and he's making Tech 2 power. And in terms of Tech 1 land factories, he's only got 8. But Tech 2 land coming out for Lushan, that should be interesting. But of course at Tech 1 we can see there are more Tech 1 tanks on the field now for Voodoo, which should allow him to take a little better map control. And we can see the map control really shifting in Voodoo's favor. So we got to see that Tech 2 land for Lushan really count. It better count for him, otherwise he's... And once again a successful job for Lushan. We got to say Voodoo with all those major power problems really had no air this entire game. And Lushan taking advantage, although Lushan also having air problems of his own. Here comes another drop. This would be a very nice place to drop. This is very much undefended for Voodoo. Although Voodoo pushing through all the different directions with his Tech 1. Point defense with 4 kills, very important point defense here. Now actually getting hit by some artillery. And he gets taken out. Meanwhile, this is very even numbers. Voodoo should probably retreat before he gets some more support. But meanwhile, Lushan looks like he's got the gun. 17 kills. Meanwhile, Voodoo, no upgrades, retreating. Voodoo in danger of losing the middle position. And you don't want to lose this position because from this mountain, shoot up on all those mask extractors and all those factories. There's some Tech 2 or even mobile missile launchers, and we do know Tech 2 is on the field for Lushan. See quite a few Tech 2 mask extractors. More air factories planned for Voodoo. He's got his first one planned, paused. Another power spam for Voodoo. And we gotta say, if Voodoo didn't have those power problems early, he'd be in very good shape. That's really what has kept him back. He did get a whole bunch of mass from the middle, and we gotta say probably the power problems came from the fact that he got bombed so hard. Meanwhile, Voodoo getting an upgrade, getting attacked by some Manta. Lucian 29 kills, taking on a pretty large force. Lucian is going to retreat with his Manta, try to save his ACU, but really his ACU in no danger here. Voodoo meanwhile almost got the gun. He now has the gun, so both ACUs with the gun. And looks like Lucian retreated here on the bottom, which will allow Voodoo to make progress. There is some artillery here as well, which means this base is now in danger for Lucian. Up on top looks like numbers, and this is the successful drop from Lucian. He was able to kill off all these expanding mask extractors, and that looks like 6 mask extractors are going to be 7 mask extractors are going to be destroyed. And here comes this push from Voodoo. He's going to try to get into this base. Another very well placed point defense here for Lucian. And these Manta should be able to take care of this problem. Perhaps a mistake there from Voodoo losing this position. He is going to lose this battle. Looks like numbers for the cybran. Although this Tech 2 needs to come in and help. Some rhinos there as well. In the middle, a push from Voodoo. Voodoo kind of throwing all of his Tech 1 through 2 different holes, but it's really not enough. It's going to come up against either the ACU or the Tech 2 units. And Voodoo should retreat. Voodoo now with Tech 2 land of his own, getting a Tech 2 engineer, perhaps some cruise missiles. And that's something we just might see soon from Lucian. He does have plenty of TMD, Tech 2 power. And this is a Tech 2 force now. Actually with a whole bunch of kills. These rhinos have a massive amount of kills here up on top. Plus some really nice bombing from Lucian. So Tech 2 versus Tech 1 on both the top and bottom choke points. Some numbers for Voodoo, but the cybran tanks are just going to dominate. Oh wow, that's the problem with having your tanks run in a straight line against artillery. Artie will spot the right place to put the bombs, and will make you pay. You never want to move in a single direction against Artie. And here on the bottom, big problems for Voodoo. Up on top looks like the numbers have won it, and loss of micro. Really not enough micro with those tanks for Lucian. He could have really had much more success. Looks like he's busy microing his units on the bottom. In the middle looks like Lucian getting out of the middle with 43 kills. Shields, Tech 2 power for Voodoo. Some TMD as well. And it looks like Voodoo now has Tech 2 air with a much more spam, much more air spam. And a nice Tech 1 counterattack from Voodoo up on top, but not really clear how much success that's going to have. His engineers were able to grab these mass extractors, but won't keep them for long. But through this choke point, these Tech 2 units right here, absolute heroes for Lucian. See 19 kills for that rhino. But a big Tech 1 spam in either direction from Voodoo. Kind of overwhelming. But a lot of interceptors. And we should see Tech 2 gunships come out on the field very soon. Some Tech 1 units rolling through the middle for Lucian. There's some undefended radar. Both players making radars right next to each other. Of course, Voodoo's units without any support are going to die. There's some Tech 2 for Voodoo. Voodoo is going to pull back. This is a stealth. These are stealthy units for Voodoo. You can see the power of stealth. You cannot see these on radar. Very good with long-range units like mobile missile launchers, bricks, or hoplites. And another successful drop, and Tech 2 drop into Voodoo's base. Meanwhile, Voodoo facing Tech 3. I did not see this Tech 3 from Lucian. And Loyalists now coming into the field. And they're made it past the ACU, and that's very dangerous. Simultaneous attacks from Lucian here with the drop, multiple Tech 2 and Tech 3 through the middle. Meanwhile, Voodoo is also attacking. He's going to try to attack this factory, but he's going to run into some Loyalists. These Loyalists going really deep into Voodoo's base. Some Tech 1 point defense is being thrown up, and a single Loyalist got through. And these are going to get a lot of kills. They're going to kill a lot of engineers and power. The Loyalists, 16 kills. Probably kill that Tech 2 mask extractor. Very good attack, and Actually, here is some success for this arty. See a couple dead units for Lucian, and now 19 kills. This loyalist is going to be extremely difficult to kill, as long as he doesn't get hit by artillery, and he's got to keep moving. Lucian not paying attention to his loyalist, and that loyalist is going to die for no reason. There's no reason for a loyalist to die like that. 29 kills, 16. Absolutely deadly Tech 2 tanks. Transports have been extremely good for Lucian this entire game. Now Tech 3 moving through the bottom. Now Tech 3 for Lucian as well is trying to make some Titans. Of course, the Loyalist is much better than the Titans. Voodoo's ACU. He's got to start overcharging. You can see a couple dead Loyalists. Tech 1 bombers attacking the Tech 2 power. Voodoo overcharging quite a bit here, getting a lot of very important kills. Meanwhile, up on top, Tech 3 versus Tech 1. A very intense fight here the last couple of minutes, but very much even still. Both players making, especially Lucian with an excellent attack, but good defense from Voodoo. Maybe a little more micro with the Loyalist for Lucian here, could have been a little more damage. But we got to say, big problems for Voodoo here, losing 2 of his Tech 2 power generators, and now Lucian, huge excess power. So Lucian can get almost any kind of upgrades that he'd want. And you can spam a whole bunch of air. You can probably go Tech 3 air if you wanted. Meanwhile, Voodoo, much less power. 28,000 reclaim. But the air's pretty nice for Voodoo at this point, so he's not in too much danger now, making some gunships, upgrading some mass structures to Tech 3, so a little teching from Voodoo. Another Tech 1 assault here. And Tech 3 Titans on the field for Voodoo. He might think about countering. More Loyalists being produced. And on a map this big with this many mass extractors, a spider bite is definitely an option for Lucian if he wanted to do something crazy. And that is ridiculous right here. That's a brick inside Voodoo's base. Lucian just, I mean, in the face of all that Tech 1. Yeah, so this is a lesson that even against the best players, you can go ahead and drop whenever you want, because people cannot always pay attention. And this is going to be a very devastating unit inside Voodoo's base unless it keeps on running into this point defense. Just try and kill the Tech 3 mass extractor. No reason for it to stand next to this Tech 1 point defense. And once again, Lucian, is he going to get it? No, he did not get that Tech 3 mass extractor. So Voodoo a bit lucky there. But a brick and Loyalists here are going to hold down the top for Lucian, no problem. Meanwhile, the Titans rolling through. Loyalists retreating. Big Tech 1 support for these Tech 3 units. So you can see, even when you have Tech 3 on the field, it's still very nice to have Tech 1. It's really the composition of your armies that's important. But it's really 3 versus 1 here. That Titan got killed very quickly by the more powerful Loyalists. Titan, the weakest Tech 3 land unit. And up on top, absolutely no problems for this Tech 3 force. Brick 37 kills, a lot of reclaim. More Tech 2 gunships coming out. More drops planned for Lucian, and he might as well keep dropping. Been very successful. It looks like a straight up brick spam now for Lucian. So the only way to really get better land for Lucian is to start experimentals. Bricks as good as the land really gets. Gunships for Voodoo. Attacking, and this is a massive air fight. Looks like Voodoo and just a straight up patrol. Both players just a patrol with Tech 1 interceptors. But those gunships for Voodoo died very quickly, and also Tech 2 flak. For Lucian moving into this position. This Tech 2 flak probably going to get a lot of kills. It looks like Tech 3 retreating. And this right here is a Percy. And a Percy is something that you got to respect. Especially if it targets the Loyalists or the bricks. Getting hit by a whole bunch of arty. So Percy's on the field. Percy's versus bricks. Seeing shields and titans. Tech 3 power coming up for Voodoo. Still Tech 2 air. Pretty big Tech 1 air spam. And the Percy's, the Voodoo retreats here on the bottom. Meanwhile, Loyalists and bricks, 43 kills, are gonna. Actually, they're gonna get a fight. They're titans and shields coming in. Of course, a huge advantage for UEF is those mobile Tech 2 shields. Make any of your armies much stronger. So perhaps some problems up on top for Lucian soon. Meanwhile, on the bottom, 2 bricks. It's really gonna be a big problem. See 20 kills for this Percy. Here comes some gunships. They're gonna target the Percy. Is there some Tech 2 flak anywhere for Voodoo? It doesn't seem like it. So no air support for that Percy. It's gonna be big problems. If that goes, the bricks can move in, do a lot of damage. There's a very important veteran targeted there by Lucian. It looks like it will survive. The interceptors for Voodoo came in just in time. And see if the bricks can target the Percy as well. But now the Percy also getting some support. Manta and shields. A counterattack from Voodoo. Up on top simultaneously, Voodoo pushing through. Percy's and shields. Bricks trying to hold their own, but it'll be very difficult. UEF on land really very hard to beat. Lucian getting an upgrade. Tech 2 gunships now from Voodoo. Voodoo targeting the bricks. Very similar gameplay from both players, using Tech 2 gunships to target the best land units from the other team. Meanwhile, this brick, the longest range here, killing off a Titan. Multiple Percys. Moving in. The single brick here with 9 kills. Brick versus Percy battle. That brick is very much outgunned. Some arty here as well for Lucian. But that's a lot of bricks for Lucian. It doesn't look like these Percys are going to have success. Yeah, there's only 2 Percys here. Another one coming in now. Multiple Percys coming in, but a victory on the bottom. Meanwhile, up on top, big problems for Lucian. He does have 4 bricks on the case now. And actually it looks like all the Tech 3 is dead for Voodoo, so it's going to be a successful defense. Here, minute 28. Lucian looking at the eco, plus 200 mass, plus 4,000 power, 31,000 reclaim. Voodoo, meanwhile, 5,000 power, only 120 mass, so a lot more mass production for Lucian. We're also seeing artillery. It looks that's a cruise missile. Trying to hit the factory, and of course the cybran cruise missile is very difficult to defend against. These bricks really saving Lucian's base from that assault. Nice aggression from Voodoo. And then a very important engine here, grabbing a lot of mass for Voodoo. Perhaps we'll see some escalation in air, maybe some Tech 3 air, or we might see experimentals, or we might see nukes. I think we're at that stage of the game. And here it is, we got a spider from Lucian, and a spider can really make one of these battles very one-sided on one of these choke points. Of course, by the time Lucian gets that spider for the same price, Voodoo might have a whole bunch of Percys. And actually Voodoo getting Tech 3 point defenses. It's very defensive. An assault coming in. This is a lot of bricks for Lucian. See this army composition, 7 bricks, a couple flags, some Tech 1. He's going to be facing 3 Percys. Percys versus bricks once again, but numbers for Lucian. This could be very big problems for Voodoo. Up on top, looks like it's mostly Tech 1 from Voodoo. Spider's halfway built for Lucian. Voodoo 19 kills with the gun in case the Tech. Is that another successful drop? This is like the 5th successful drop, but here comes Tech 3 Air from Voodoo. This brick is gonna get bombed a lot. Of course, Tech 3 bombers when not shot out of the air cause a lot of damage. And this is a secret base. There's a stealth field generator from Voodoo, from Lushan. It looks like these Tech 3 bombers are out to get something. See what they target. Has some excellent bombing. Of course, UEF bombers is one good thing about them. A single bomb will kill a Tech 2 mask extractor. That's a big advantage over Cybran. Very nice bombing from Voodoo. Meanwhile, these cruise missiles are firing. And it looks like it was a choice between a Spider and Tech 3 Air. Tech 3 Air versus Spider. Let's see how the Spider can shift the game the other direction. Of course, the Spider is also going to be very vulnerable against the Strat bombers. It does appear that the bricks are beginning to get overwhelmed by the Perseus in the middle. And a retreat for Voodoo. This Tech 3 Air. And looks like, yeah, this is a bunch of Tech 2 mask extractors sniped by Lushan. You can see Voodoo, he has no idea that there's something there. He doesn't have radar there, but there's stealth there for Lushan. And bricks versus Strat bombers now. Bricks with no air support, big veterans getting hit. That was quite devastating. Tech 3 Air beginning to dominate for Voodoo. That was really the big shift in this game, but where's the Spider? The Spider is in the middle, 40 kills. Lushan or Voodoo is running. Of course, now this Spider is getting hit by the bombers. 43 kills for the Spider. Not really, yeah, it looks like the Spider wants to avoid these Perseus. Spider respecting the Perseus. But nothing it can do against the Strat bombers. The big problem is, looks like both players losing their expansions. 55 kills for the Spider. Bricks running into some Tech 3 point defense. Solution taking the right path with the Spider, but doesn't make it too far. So a really nice chunk of mass now for Voodoo to reclaim. Meanwhile, we're seeing Tech 3 Air, big spam for Lushan. And this is very strange that the player who had less power has so much more, has gone Tech 3 Air, has so much more air. Lushan in a huge power excess this entire game. And you can see these bricks. So tragic to see your Tech 3 units getting hit like this. Very strange how that happened. But Lushan, if Lushan would have gone for strong Tech 3 Air, and he could have definitely out-spammed air versus Voodoo instead of that Spider, this would be a very different game. That Tech 2 bomber, Tech 2 transport went in the wrong direction. Because it was a nice assault with the Spider, but just a little too much defense, too many Perseus, plus the Strat bombers against the Spider neutralized that threat. That was a nice snipe. So the snipes are working. Yeah, this is very nice. That secret base working out for Lushan. It's gonna get bombed though, as it was just spotted. Percy's moving in that direction as well. Gotta expect those bombs. So no more sniping mask extractors, but multiple Tech 3 mask extractors, 4 of them taken out. Big victory for Lushan. Yet another Spider now being built by Lushan. And a whole bunch of loyalists moving in. So Lushan really taking control of land with that Spider attack. It's just that the land forces for Lushan don't get to make it to the actual base because they get bombed. Percy's versus Loyalists. Very easy for UEF in this situation. Tech 3 gunships for Lucian. Yeah, all those Tech 3 mask extractors absolutely devastated by the secret base from Lucian. It appears that Voodoo is he throwing in the towel? Well, he's got plus 80 now, but he's got huge mass deficit. Comparing his mass versus Lucian, who's at 227, so more than double. That's really going to translate into a big advantage, and as soon as Voodoo loses his air advantage, he's basically got nothing. Meanwhile, these bricks, this is bad for Voodoo. That's a whole bunch of cybran artillery. These Strat bombers just don't have the time to kill everything. Voodoo getting rained on. Meanwhile, yet another spider through the top. ASF coming out for Lucian, but Voodoo still holding on to air. Strat bombers are going to respond to the spider. Spider full health. It's going to take a lot of killing plus a lot of bricks. Oh, these are loyalists. 7 loyalists and a spider moving in. Voodoo's got to do something. You can see Strat bombers bombing the spider. Plus Tech 3 PD. The loyalists got killed very quickly. Looks like that spider's gonna die. It's gonna be a nice gift for Voodoo. Perhaps give him a little more chance, because that's exactly what he needs at this point. He's rebuilt a couple of his Tech 3 mask extractors, rebuilt the others to Tech 1, and air still belongs to Voodoo. So I guess that wasn't thrown in the towel, but that mass is going to be huge, and you can see Voodoo is already getting there. And now total air domination. Looks like Voodoo actually going after the ACU with the Strat bombers. Voodoo has 4 Strat bombers attacking Lucian, breaking through the cybran shields, which are very weak. But looks like he has just lost all his Strat bombers, so Lucian surviving that attack on the ACU. A bit ambitious there from Voodoo. Gets a Tech 3 base with only 4. But here comes a Soul Ripper. That's crazy. If that's what's gonna win the game, because that's gonna be very difficult to kill for Voodoo unless he has a whole bunch of flak and shields. I don't think he's got any flak, that much flak. Might have a couple. And air beginning to shift to Lucian's favor. He's really had the better eco, and he built that bug extremely fast. Because that's a very expensive unit. Looking at Lucian here. See, that costs 20. Actually, it's cheaper now. 28,000. So cybran getting huge boosts with the latest patches. This is going to be a huge gunship, and it looks like it's going to end. There's absolutely nothing that Voodoo could do against this. So I think this was an excellent game. I hope people enjoyed it. I definitely did. And another classic between Voodoo and Lucian. I'm hoping to see many more from these two players. Excellent play from both.